Hi, I'm Lucas with YRM. I'm going to take you on a quick tour and explain to you why we're expanding our facility. They say the camera adds 10 pounds, but it also makes a lot of small areas look bigger than they actually are. Take our stage, for example. Here we have 2 sets of stairs, which eats into the footprint. But you got to think we have a keyboard player, a bass player, guitar player, the pulpit, singers, and sometimes extra musicians up here. Our stage is right around 8 feet deep, so it's pretty small. And once you get all these people up here, there's not a lot of extra room, and it can get pretty chaotic sometimes. So here you can kind of see, this is where the majority of our people worship and gather during the Sabbath and during the feast. But this isn't the whole story. Let me kind of take you on a little trip over here to where everybody else has to worship. This is our fellowship hall. There are several people who have to sit out here because we just don't have the room. And how do they worship? Well, we have a projector here that shoots a video feed. So these people who sit out here, there it goes. These people who sit out here, they see what we're seeing, but it's not quite the same. And so one of the goals we have here is to move everybody, to gather everybody to the same place so that there's not this split between our congregation, having to sit out here and watch a video feed versus watching the actual service. So let's check out the music room next. This is where essentially music storage, if there's any work that needs to be done on chord charts and things like that, it's done in this little room. As you can see, it's pretty well packed with just extra instruments, with cables and different things like that, lights. And one of the things that the addition will allow us to do is have a much bigger music room, much bigger music storage, a much bigger prep area for the musicians and for those who are giving sermons. They can read over their notes and things. And it'll just give us a much larger footprint, and everything won't be quite so crammed in like it is right now. And if you look, this is what we can't fit in the music storage. We have extra microphone stands, extra guitars, and it'll also help keep the stage clean whenever we do the bigger music room as well. This is a big problem area for us, and you might not realize it from the video. Like I said, sometimes videos make it a little bigger than they are. This area here is where the old building meets up with the new fellowship hall. And while it's nice and open over here, in this area we just walked through, it's a serious bottleneck. As you can see, we use up every square inch of space that we have in this facility. And in this back row, if somebody happens to be sitting here, you can see now you've got a traffic jam. Like, nobody can get through, nobody can do anything. And imagine during the feast, you have 200, 250 people. Everybody gets up at the same time, and everybody gets up in the same time over here. And now we have to try to move around to try to get people in the food line and to the salad bar line. It's chaos. It's absolute chaos. All it takes is for one person to stop and say hi to someone, and everything's backed up all the way across the room. And so it's a mess. That's the big thing about this project, is that there's no fluff in this project. Every square inch has been carefully considered. We've lived with this for years now. This area is specifically for 16 years now. And we know what we need. We know how to do the layout. We have plans. Everything is accounted for. And just know that if you decide to support this project, every dollar, every cent will go towards this project, towards making this more usable for Yahweh's people, for you when you visit the feast, for you when you visit with your family, with your children. We want to make this a better place for everyone, and this project will allow us to do that. Okay. Let's check out the audio booth next. This is another major issue that we have. Our audio booth, it has a footprint of about 4 feet by 6 feet. And as you can see, it's a little tight to get 2 people up here. We've had instances where we slip off the stairs, as you're seeing right now. That's a little disruptive to the service. But you do really get to know each other when you're sitting up here with 2 people. We have people that want to help. We have people that want to help volunteer for different systems and things like that. But honestly, we literally just can't fit them in. There's just no room. With the new expansion, one of the things that will help us do is build a much bigger audio booth to where not only will we be able to fit the people that need to be up there comfortably, but we'll also be able to fit those people in who want to learn these systems. They can be effectively trained. We can bring more people from downstairs in the current broadcast studio up to the service so they don't have to be down there by themselves during the service. It'll help kind of bring everybody together to one spot. You can see these support columns we have. We don't love them, but they're a necessary evil, so to speak. And imagine you're sitting here in the premium seat in the house. Look at this. I can tell you, not a lot of people take this seat. You can't see anything. It's right in your line of sight. And one of the things that we're going to do with the new edition is we're going to have no columns. It's going to be wide open, so everybody everywhere can see everything. And like I said, this is just part of growing pains. This is what you get when you start very small, like we did back in 1999. You get things like this, because as you expand, you have to do something. And so what we want to do is we want to correct these issues and reutilize this space here as a split, multi-purpose for extra dining, or even during the feast, dining / sanctuary if we need it. And so it'll be a multi-purpose area, whether it's for, hosting extra large events, or whether it's for a big meal, whatever the case may be, we'll be able to utilize everything. No space in this building is going to be going to waste. Even the older stuff, it'll be used. So as you can see, one of the big issues we had, that you saw with the music room, that you see with the stage, and pretty much everywhere else you look, is we have a fundamental lack of storage. That's one of the things we're going to address with this new edition. We're going to have much larger storage facilities so we can put things where they need to go and they're not sitting out in plain view for everybody to see. Check out our storage right now. Look at that, right here, right out in the hallway. We have decorations, we have extra chairs, and here we have a cleaning cart, and we don't have anywhere to put it. Every closet is stuffed. Every nook and cranny is stuffed. And I just want to emphasize that even the spaces that don't seem like we're going to get use out of, they'll be used for storage. So we're hoping that with your support, we can get this project funded, we can get everything built, and you can enjoy it with us. So now I'm going to turn this over to Ryan, who's going to kind of go over the plans and kind of everything that goes into that.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I think Lucas did a really good job of kind of explaining some of the constraints we have inside. I'm outside. This is actually where the facility will be built. Right behind me here is the stage, which you saw on the with Lucas, and this is where we were proposing bringing this out. So we'll be able to use that room and, of course, this new facility as one. That will be fellowship hall mainly, but if we need to bring chairs, they'll have a big opening here. If we need to bring chairs through, we can utilize both rooms, which of course maximizes square footage. Well, as you can see from the elevation of the property here, we will have to put a foundation in. That's a good thing though, because the lower part of our foundation is going to give us much needed space for our children's classes during the feasts, and of course just extra meeting and Bible study space. We'll have a couple bathrooms down below, and then the ability to access the basement from the meeting hall, which will really streamline our services during the festivals. So people are probably going to ask, what's this going to look like? Well, it's basically just going to be a gable structure. It's going to be 29 gauge corrugated steel, just a simple 412 pitch roof, no frills, just metal. You don't really see much of this from the back anyway. Primarily, we want to make a nice meeting hall. It really won't have very many windows in it because we don't require windows in the sanctuary. We have our own controlled lighting. So this new meeting hall is going to hold about 225 people in just this section alone, and we're estimating over 100 can recede to the back if we needed to expand. So this will allow us to have well over 300 people worshiping essentially in the same room. On behalf of everybody at Yahweh's Restoration Ministry, your help really means a lot to us. Yahweh bless.